Hmm? Yeah, I do. Thanks. And I'm also going live on YouTube here. I'm throwing this up on YouTube if you want to take a look. JT the Brick YT. Great, JT with you, and we're rolling tonight. Busy night tonight, and I am excited to be on the radio with you because the madness is set as we're ready to go. It's ready to go. We have the Final Four here. I think a lot of people had UConn. I had Houston. Maybe you had some other games, other teams you thought would go farther. If you got NC State, you got to feel great about that. If you had NC State getting this far, if you feel unbelievable about the opportunity because you're an Alabama fan. Alabama fans got to feel pretty excited about this opportunity. Whoever you are, Purdue fans, take advantage of the rest of the month. We're starting up a brand new month here, April Fools. I don't got an April Fool's going for you today. I just want to get this thing rolling. 888-623-3646 as the tweet just went out. And hey, I'm on my YouTube channel today, which is the first time for me. I left it up after I did a show earlier today of 2 hours, and now it's up and running now, and you can see what I'm doing. JT the Brick YT. YT stands for YouTube. JT the Brick YT, if you'd like to subscribe and share. It's just me looking into a camera as I host the show. And today's a big day for me because I'm doing 6 hours, and I don't know if anybody on God's green earth solo, because all these shows now have like 16 co-hosts. You ever see those shows where like the guys in the back room have an open mic and wear costumes? They get to talk. I'm one of the only shows left in America that is going to do 6 hours solo today. I don't need a medal. I don't need to be pinned. I don't need a round of applause. But I'd like you to participate in the show because if not, I don't have enough time to breathe. Every once in a while, I got to breathe. I have to sip of water here. So I'd like to hear from the great fans on the Powerful 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, as we're ready to roll. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese tonight. Big story. Huge story. I've been covering sports for a long time. I have the utmost respect for female sports. As I say, women are better than us. My wife's a lot smarter than me. She's a much better person than I am. I praise the women in our lives, from my mom, who's still with us at 85, to my two sisters, to my wife, and I respect women athletics, especially, the women are usually the stars at the Olympics, and the biggest sporting event in the world every 4 years, the Olympic Games. You got the women swimmers, and you got the women gymnasts, and the women track stars. There's a lot of women who dominate the Olympics. Well, tonight we have a female exclusive sport. We have college basketball at the women's level with Caitlin Clark, and I can't tell you exactly how great she is all time. Cheryl Miller, you look at some of the greatest women, Nancy Lieberman to ever play the game. Caitlin Clark is in the conversation. The problem for Caitlin Clark is she needs to win a championship. She doesn't have to. You can be the greatest of all time. Okay, you don't have to be a national champion. Tim Tebow won a national championship, two of them in a Heisman. He didn't do much in the NFL. He won a playoff game, but he has a legacy of being one of the most accomplished college athletes of all time. Of all time. Now you got an opportunity to see Caitlin Clark win, but she's got to go through LSU. So why am I leading with that tonight? Because I'd like some men, of course, the women. Matter of fact, I put women to the front of the line. If you're a woman, you don't have to wait on hold with your boy JT the Brick. I put you right up front at 888 Mad Dog 6. But I need some men to jump in on this topic. This is supposed to move the needle for you guys. You're supposed to watch this game mandatory tonight. You love basketball, you love sports. You got Angel Reese, who's trash talking, putting her hands in Caitlin's face, showing her pretty nails with the rings. She has the phantom rings on. And Caitlin Clark, man, she plays angry, man. She plays worked up. She gets ready to roll. This must-see TV. With all due respect to Alabama and NC State, this is a lot bigger. Not eyeballs. Most people won't watch as much as the men, but you got to admit LSU, Iowa in this game feels better than any Clemson, Alabama game you watched in the last couple of weeks. Or with all due respect to the other teams that are getting in here, this is monstrous. So I want to know what you think about this. You can get into my chat also at YouTube. Instead of reading tweets, I read in the chat, JT the Brick YT. And let me know if you're going to watch this tonight. I really want to know if you're going to watch this game tonight and who you think is going to win. If Caitlin Clark scores 35 and they lose, it's okay. But as Stephen A. said on First Take today, she better show up. She's got to show up in this game. If she loses to LSU and the trash talkers, and man, they talk trash. This women's LSU team, you can put them up with any other team when it comes to trash talking. They love their press clippings. They love walking off the bus in the arena, chirping with the fans, and I like it too. But Caitlin Clark's next level. I don't think Iowa's women's team is good as LSU, but I think Caitlin Clark's the best player in the sport, and she's going to have that Larry Bird Indiana State night. You know what I mean? That Larry Bird game. Even though Magic Johnson beat Larry Bird in the championship round, Bird was great on the way to get there. She's got to have a Larry Bird performance tonight. So Elliot jumps in. I'm definitely gonna watch Iowa versus LSU tonight. I've got Iowa winning, but I think it's going to come down to the wire. I hope it does too. Matter of fact, we're going to cover this game, and we're going to cover it in a big way. So I get some preview on this. Here's Angel Reese. I don't know what she's doing here. I don't know if she's trying to stir the pot or downplay it, because she's great in front of a microphone, a classic trash talker who backs it up, the star of LSU. Man, she's good. She's really good. That's what she's going to do. She's going to come after you. I don't know to believe it or not. That's the point I wanted to make here. I don't know to believe that or not. I don't know her. I don't know this young woman. I don't know if she's real or not in regards to that. I don't know. That she might not. I don't think Caitlin Clark wants to hang out with her. I really don't. I don't think Caitlin Clark wants to go hang out with her afterwards and go to dinner. Maybe I'm wrong. I think they want to get into it. And Caitlin Clark, here she is, getting up for this game, talking about her and, of course, Angel Reese and the competitive fire. I like this. I think there's a lot of it's a big topic to talk about tonight, because men gotta be open to this conversation. Men gotta be open more to female athletics at the pro level and obviously the amateur level here. And these two gals are making money, a lot of money due to NIL. I don't know exact number here, but they're on TV tonight. Will you watch it? If you're a fan of these two teams, take advantage of the format, 888-623-3646. So if you want a flaming hot Dorito hot take, I'm going to give it to you now. The NCAA men's side is over. It's over. They're stopping the fight. It's over. No one's going to beat UConn. I wasn't able to say that early in the tournament. I watched a lot of UConn, not all year, but down the stretch. I watched the Big East tournament. I watched their games, and I come from an Illinois house. My wife went to Illinois with the Flying Illini. She loves Illinois, so we watch a lot of college basketball. My wife more than me. But Illinois was good this year. Illinois under Brad Underwood was a good team. They got humiliated by UConn. UConn went on a 30-0 run, and Illinois, the 3 seed and the Big Ten champs in their tournament, couldn't sustain any type of consistency. And after that game, watching UConn and watching everybody else, it's over. That means Purdue, North Carolina State, no doubt in Alabama, you have no chance to win. I'll give a little chance to Zach Edey in Purdue. I think Matt Painter's a good coach. They got a big. He's coming off 40 points. If he can have another 40-point game, they might have a chance against UConn. UConn's going to wipe the floor and win this thing, and then they'll have a back-to-back, and then need one more championship in the next couple of years to be a dynasty. So Danny Hurley's got this thing rolling. Final call. Overall, I thought it was great for UConn to win in dominant fashion, even though I was rooting for Illinois. Danny Hurley, after the game, was on with Adam Shine today as he did a media tour about what happened along the way and how did they put together that 30-0 run. Got a knockout punch there. So I think they're going to win it. I'd like to talk about the Final Four. I don't think a lot of people will. I mean, we're going to cover it. We got guests on to talk about it, but I think it's UConn, and UConn's one of the great teams of all time. The 89-1990 UNLV running Rebels should have went back-to-back, and they were a heavy favorite over Duke when Bobby Hurley and Christian Laettner beat UNLV in one of the greatest upsets of all time. If UNLV played that game 10 times, they would have won 9. Fact, not fiction, but they lost. So anything can happen here. But I remember when UNLV couldn't go back-to-back, UConn has the ability to do it. I don't know how they do it. Storrs, Connecticut, they got great women's basketball, men's basketball, and people want to play for Danny Hurley. I love everything about the guy. He barks at his players. He's in the face. He loves his players. He's highly emotional. The other thing that I think is really important, if I'm the coaches going up against Hurley the rest of the way, so we'll get to Alabama, and let's say it's Purdue. A lot of people think it'll be Purdue. If I'm the coaches of those other teams, I'm pulling the refs over. I'm saying, ref, come here for a second. If Danny Hurley steps on the court, if Danny Hurley screams at you, I need a technical foul. These coaches competing against Danny Hurley got to remind the refs and get Danny Hurley worked up because that guy should catch a tape. He's aggressively on edge every game. So these other coaches have got to get at his level. You got to get at his level if you're going to beat him. The teams that are playing UConn the rest of the way in these last 2 games have to come in very emotionally high, and they have to be able to match the energy of Danny Hurley, who is absolutely incredible. Nate Oates, the head coach of Alabama, on what's going to happen now going forward. Because of Danny Hurley, the format, the style that UConn plays, the Alabama head coach is obviously concerned. I like that. It's a very honest coach. We got to figure out Danny Hurley. That's what you have to do. You're playing Bobby Knight. You're going up against Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K. You better know how they coach, and you better know their formula. Danny Hurley, if he wins back-to-back here, Billy Donovan was the last one to do it at the Florida Gators. He went on to make millions of dollars in the NBA. What's next for Hurley? He'll have his team ready to go. They'll be ready to play. And finally, Purdue. Here's a Zach Edey dunk down the stretch. This game was close. At one point, it was a one-possession game, and then Edey took over on the offense and defensive side. Westwood won on the call there, NCAA radio. So we all know who Zach Edey is. Will you put him? The good topic for Zach Edey going forward is simply this. Is he going to make it in the NBA or not? I've had people who actually told me that he'll go to the NBA and won't do anything. I go, excuse me? What do you mean nothing? He says, no, he's too slow. His footwork isn't great. I mean, he's great right up against the rim, playing against inferior college kids most of the time. Let me repeat, Zach Edey, two-time player of the year, is playing against inferior college kids. What's he going to do in the NBA when Victor Wembanyama is there and Anthony Davis is defending him and Jokic is defending him? What is he going to be able to do? So I don't know where to put this. I need your help on that topic. If Zach Edey goes to the NBA, you've seen his talent here over the last couple of weeks. He's obviously going to be a lottery pick. He's 7'2". He's going to be the back-to-back player of the year. He should be a lottery pick. But who do you think he's going to be comparable to in the NBA? What are going to be some of the issues he has in the NBA? Because God knows I'm not going to sit here for 4 hours and talk about Zach Edey going up against NC State. I turn the radio off. I'd turn the radio off if anybody did 4 hours talking about Purdue going up against NC State. I got a lot more to talk about than that. So I'm going to peel off Zach Edey and try to get your comparison to him. Because you got comps, comparables. Bill Walton, Lou Alcindor, Elvin Hayes, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson. You got a lot of guys who were great in college and went on to be Hall of Famers in the NBA. How do you say that this kid can get it done or not? I like him. He threw up an air ball free throw. That happens. You make a mistake. I love the way he plays defense. And a lot of people are upset that Zach Edey's getting a lot of calls. I noticed that today as I was scrolling social media. A lot of people were looking around going, wait a second. Well, are these like these Zach Edey refs? Are they in his pocket? What's going on there? Is he getting the calls? That's a good topic. Everybody's here to call in, so I'm going to slow down the monologue. If you're watching on YouTube, JT the Brick YT, you're not going to hear the calls and commercials. You're just going to hear me, and that's what you're here for, to hear me go off in 20-minute rants, and that's what we're doing here. But I want your opinion on all these big topics and the women's game tonight. Chris in West Oakland, what a great leadoff hitter. He's like the Ricky Henderson of the Bay Area on national and local radio. Chris, start us off. Chris, hold on. Hold on. I'm going to give you a pushback on this because I'm talking about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I'm talking about a Pete Maravich type player and a Magic Johnson type college player in their prime, in their heyday doing this. I'm not asking you to go watch, Reno basketball taking on Mississippi in a meaningless game. I'm asking you if you're going to lock in a Caitlin Clark, who is a transitional player that we've never seen like this in this sport. You're a Steph Curry fan in the Bay Area. You're an over-the-top Warrior fan, and you can't appreciate the quality of this basketball player tonight, both of them? I never said that. Yeah, I've never said that. And again, I don't think she can play with men. I never recall saying this was a men conversation. I'm comparing her as a female athlete in a female sport, and I'm using the men as a comparison in their sport. She's special. She's one of the greatest female basketball players of all time. That should get you, a college basketball coach, on a Monday night where there's nothing going on in sports other than that, locked into this game. Wow. Right. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I see everybody who's sitting there too. I see everybody. You can see me if you're on YouTube now, JT the Brick YT. I'll talk to you during the breaks here. I keep the show going. I'm not coming up for air in 4 hours here today. I totally push back on Chris, a great caller. On the so what? A woman can't play at the level of a man, let alone at the elite level of a Kobe Bryant when he was alive and Michael Jordan. I'm aware of that. The women are playing against the women. This is a women against a women topic, and we have two of the greats in the game. That's good enough to watch because pushback on Chris, they make their shots. Caitlin Clark makes shots. Sometimes if you watch a game, and look, the men miss threes all the time, but I think this is competitive, and I like the storyline. I like the team from LSU in the South in Louisiana. I like the Iowa team. I like the rivalry between them. I don't like the LSU coach. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I think she's snarky and cocky, which will add to the Iowa and the fan base going, we want to take out the LSU girls. I'm watching tonight. I get paid to watch television. I get paid to watch TV and go to games and then talk to you. Who has it better than me? Nobody. I'm ready to roll. 888 Mad Dog 6. We'll get to everybody back on the other side. And coming up this hour, we'll dive into the NFL draft. The quarterbacks that are now all of a sudden great. Wait a second. They had second and third round grades 6 months ago, and now they're all going to go in the top 4 or 5. What is happening politically in the NFL draft? I'll get to that as we kick it off. This is Mad Dog. Let's do Al in White Plains, and then we'll do John in California. Be right there. All right, my YouTubers, man, YouTubers. What do you think? This is my first ever Mad Dog show on YouTube. Never done this before, so let's give it a shot. Man, I've been grinding, man. 4 hours on Easter on Mad Dog, 4 hours tonight, 2 hours earlier today. I'm good to be on the radio. No doubt about it. Tony, what did he say? What's everyone saying here? All right. I'm sure Angel Reese had the same media push as Clark. She'd be way less controversial and more upbeat. You do not know that rap album depot, but it's a good opinion. Tony says, is it trash talk if it comes through or spitting facts? I love the trash talk with these women, man. Give me more of it. I'm going to watch more sports. Look, we deal with this idiot, Draymond Green, this idiot. He's an absolute idiot, Draymond Green. All he does is trash talk, get thrown out of games, not available for teammates. He's got podcast and TV commercials. Raiders simp. I missed the first show. That's noon to 2. Everybody here can follow my local show. We talk to Jason says, nice work. What's up from JT? Harvey, I've been listening to you since I was a kid on Extra 910 back in the day. I get that a lot, man. Guy in my 50s, people say, I've been listening to you. It's an honor, man. I love people that have been listening for, you know, almost 30 years now, 27 years. Appreciate that. Jason says, Jason Steckland, go Iowa. Yeah, I'm rooting for Iowa. I want to see LSU get beat. Okay, they're a little over the top and aggressive, which I'm fine with. But pick a winner, man. Who are you picking, Iowa or LSU? So that game, it's going to be. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's really a good topic, man. It is really a good topic that these are really two great athletes, two premier athletes. LSU really has two. So there's three elite WNBA players who are going to play here. I'm in Vegas and was with the owner of the Aces the other night, Saturday night, Mark Davis. WNBA basketball, baby. Are you on YouTube too? Yeah, good. You can come out a break with anything you want. College, the rest. And our first guest is our first guest is at 4:30 Pacific, correct? Mm-hmm. It's not here at the bottom of the hour, right? Mhm. Good. As I'm talking to the YouTube audience, Jordan says I disagree with Chris 100%. So do I. I think you gotta watch the other teams, other genders play, and especially all if you're not going to watch every game, I get it, but I don't watch a lot of women's softball. But when Oklahoma is in the national championship game, I watch to see how dominant they are. You know, Mm. Yeah. Mm. They do got some juice, no doubt, no doubt. Us would run radio on the calls here. We were talking on YouTube during the break, and I was talking to the guys down the line as I'm live from Vegas. Look, I don't watch women's soccer, but I watch the women in the World Cup play in the championship game. Our women are much better than our men historically at soccer. I mean, I don't watch American soccer because it pretty much stinks. I watch the greatest soccer in the world, La Liga, the Premier League, the World Cup. You're not going to catch me locked into an MLS game, men or women. I'm not watching an MLS game. Messi, yes, maybe a Messi highlight. I like to watch elite sports. LSU, Iowa women's basketball, Elite Eight is big time sports. So I'm going to tune in. And same thing, I don't watch women's softball, but when Oklahoma is playing in the national championship game, my son went there, I'll watch. I watch to sometimes see how dominant athletes are. Okay, so it's not a, and I don't talk much and divide people when it comes to gender, race. I bring people together. This is just must see TV tonight. I think you're aware of that. You don't have to love it, but I think it's a newsworthy story. Is Al in White Plains? Always good to get him up here on Mad Dog Sports Radio. How do you see it, Al? Yeah, I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the call. It's only 4 o'clock. We got you beat. We are out west. We are out west where the game comes on at 4 o'clock, not at 7. So I'll be ready to go after the show. The reason I'm most interested in this game is because when Angel Reese walked up to Caitlin Clark and did the phantom ring and in the face thing, that was to me at times, it was over the top and cocky, no doubt. You got to play it the same with the men and the women. You have to call it the same way, but it got me intrigued in this rivalry. Iowa and LSU are not a rivalry until Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Now we got a rivalry, and it's great to see with that. So I'm going to give you the game tonight. I'm going to give you the scores at the end of each quarter. They don't play halves there when they have breaks. I'm going to give you the scores, and if it's under 2-3 minutes to go and it's tied, we're going to go to the feed live here on Sirius XM. We have the ability to do that, but I'm not over the top saying this is the most important thing in my life, but compared to a meaningless baseball game, you know how much better LSU versus Iowa is than New York Mets baseball or Oakland A's baseball or some of these winter classic baseball games they're playing in 40 to 50 degrees. This is much more important. And I think that Caitlin Clark wants to give it hard to this and bury this team, that she wants to bury this team. And she's got the ability to do it, but I don't know if her teammates do. They're going to have to play a great game, too. 888-623-3646, as we'll get you here on the radio. And for those who are new to me, you're not new to me. I mean, 27 years, almost as long as anybody, other than Doggy. Good to jump in for the great Steve Torrey for this hour and then knock out another 3. We'll get you live updates all night. We're going to get into the NFL draft, which is really important. In the NBA, all of a sudden, LeBron and Steph Curry care about games, the final 2 weeks of the season. Wait till I get to them as we get out to our first Mad Dog Sports Bite. Here's Chuck DeLapp. Yeah, good to have everyone here. Busy show. Max Starks will join us from NFL Radio. He's co-hosting Late Hits tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Gilbert Manzano, NFL writer for Sports Illustrated. As he was at the owners' meeting, we'll get a recap from him. and we're excited about everything that's going to happen. There's a lot of action on tonight. That's what we're dealing with, a lot of action. And how about tonight? You can hear every game of the NCAA men's tournament on SiriusXM. So go to SiriusXM.com/sports to find out where you can hear your school, or just search March Madness on the SiriusXM app for complete coverage. And I'm excited about this. This is going to be good. Look, March Madness is not what it used to be. Yeah, it's not. It's not what it used to be, because it's good. And we got Danny Hurley now with the potential dynasty team. But this isn't Ewing and Elijah Wan, okay? This isn't Bill Walton and John Wood. Okay, this isn't the General Robert Montgomery Knight. Everything evolves and everything changes. This isn't Get Off My Lawn. The sport does not have as many viewers as it does. We have more TVs. We have 70 TVs in every sports bar, if you want to count every one. But I don't think this is the glory days of college basketball. It's not. Anybody who says that should be arrested and put in Twitter jail. There's not the glory years of college basketball. I just gave you some glory year teams. But what we have here is the potential for the beginning of a dynasty with Danny Hurley. That's got my attention. That's got my attention. On the women's side, Caitlin Clark is fascinating to me. I think she could have a good game tonight. She's going to have not a career game, but really good to beat LSU. And I want to see him beat LSU. I pick a winner or a loser. I think LSU's the better team, but I'm feeling Caitlin Clark is going to win and keep that journey going. So we want to get that going, and that's what's going to happen now. 888-623-3646 is the number as we open up the show. So you just heard in the update by Chuck DeLapp that Rashee Rice is cooperating. And here's the statement from his attorney. On behalf of Rashee Rice, his thoughts are with everyone impacted by the automobile accident on Saturday. Rashee is cooperating with local authorities and will take all necessary steps to address the situation responsibly. Any and all requests for comments can be directed to his attorney, Mr. Royce West of West and Associates. What a bunch of bogus crap that is. And Adam Schefter did the right thing. He retweeted this because it's a big storyline. Let me tear this up and rip it to shreds. First off, he said his thoughts are with everyone impacted in the automobile accident. Are you out of your mind? He left the scene. There was a mom and a little boy who got in an accident, could have been killed, might have been killed. And this thug, and I use the word thug all the time. So don't clip this show and say I use the word thug 5 times a day. And what the definition of a thug is has nothing to do with gender or race. Nothing to do with it. You can be a thug from any part of the world. When you intimidate people, when you endanger people, when you're disrespectful to people, and you do things like this, you're a thug. And this Rashee Rice is a thug. Here's why. He left the scene of an accident. Then this attorney goes on and says Rashee is cooperating with local authorities. What? He left the scene of a crime. Cooperating with local authorities is standing there, making sure if you were, and this is all alleged right now. I'm going off the Dallas News. Okay, there were witnesses that said they saw Rashee Rice walking out with bags in his hands. What could have been in those bags? I don't know. But there is video of these guys who are thugs because they pulled off, they almost killed people in a car accident, and they're cowards and they walked off the freeway. They walked off the freeway, and an attorney saying he's cooperating, he'll address this. And the worst bullcrap I've ever seen, his thoughts are with everyone. His thoughts are with everybody. This thug coward left the scene of a crime. This is a crime. They caused a massive car accident that almost killed people. 6-car accident, and this guy jet tails out of there, goes over the divider and disappears into the city. And we got his attorney saying he cares. His thoughts are with everybody. He's fully cooperating. No, fully cooperating is you get out of the accident, you run to every car, you say, can I help you? Can I help you? You might have to unbuckle someone's seat, get them out of the car, whatever it is. He did the opposite. And that's what TMZ's reporting. So I'm just sick and tired when people lie. And I'm sick and tired with these punk thugs who drag race and put other people's lives in jeopardy. And we have these accidents, man. We have a lot of these accidents because a Corvette is racing a Lamborghini. Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. I'm going to calm down now. This is what Andy Reid needs to do. Andy Reid needs to fly into Dallas to meet with this kid. Or after this stuff happens, this kid needs to come back to Kansas City with Andy Reid. Andy Reid needs to sit down and go, you okay? Good. Happy you didn't die. I'm asking you this question once. Andy Reid talking to Rashee Rice. And I better get the answer because I'm only going to answer this once. Did you leave the scene of the crime where a 4-year-old boy was in a car accident that you caused? Did you leave the scene? If he says yes, I left, I'd cut his ass. I'd cut his ass and I wouldn't pay him. And I'd have the league come to Kansas City and try to sue him. I wouldn't give this guy a second. If I was Andy Reid, I'd say, get your ass out of my office. You're a bad guy. You almost killed people. If it turned out you were doing that. Look, and if he was a passenger in the car, that's a different story, but not leaving the scene of a crime. So I had to get that out here. This is a big, big deal. Really big deal overall. And in the NFL in the offseason, there are times you see storylines like this. It happens in the offseason. 888 Mad Dog 6. Let's get to Scott in Los Angeles as we get going here on Caitlin Clark, who tips off here in about 40 minutes. Good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Correct. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with them. That's why, Scott, you're doing it. I push back on Chris, who's really sharp. He doesn't like the quality of play. The women's game, the reason why the women don't have the audience in the pros or in college that the men have, because they play as competitive as, and they're as competitive as anybody. They're competitive, but the quality of play is so different to the men's and the made buckets and the NBA. And look, some guys they don't watch the WNBA. They love the NBA. They don't watch WNBA. I can't change their opinion on it. I'm just talking about this rivalry. I want to see Caitlin Clark beat Angel Reese. I want to see what Angel Reese, how she handles it if she loses tonight. It's the only reason I'm watching. Yeah, good point. Yeah, something. Great call. Appreciate the call. And I agree. I apologize. Chris from West Oakland is taking some heat here with this first call. That should have been my comeback. Then why the hell are you coaching college basketball at your level and people come to see you as you're trying to develop kids to play in the D1? You're right. It's whatever moves you, man. I just like to talk sports and to find out what people are watching and what they're talking about with sports. And I'm talking about this game because LSU's playing Iowa. LSU's the 3 seed. Iowa's the 1 seed. So with the bracket here and what's going to happen, this is going to get a big rating tonight. A lot of people are going to watch this for the right reasons. Frank is in San Antonio, one of my favorite bars in the world, the Menger Bar, where Babe Ruth drank at. I've been there many a times. Hello, Frank. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. My nephew's at this game in Albany, and he just texted me with a photo, and he said lots of Clark jerseys, 90% Iowa fans, and I'm lowballing that. That's from my nephew in the building, so I take that as the truth there. This is a heavy Iowa crowd tonight, and you're right, Scott. It feels like Frank. It feels like it should be in the Final Four, not the Elite Eight. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it very much. I'm going to watch it. We've taken calls on it the whole first hour. I'm going to pivot and move on to some other topics once the game gets underway. This is a unique time to do sports radio. I've been doing this at this time every year for 27 years. And when people are watching these games, I do alternative programming. I'm not going to sit here on the radio while these games are going on talking about the game. You can go listen to that on Sirius XM. You can go watch it on TV. So I think I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to pivot to the NFL draft. I got NBA. We had some other things we're going to talk about tonight, but I thought it was worth leading with this here, as many people are now jumping in on our YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. So when you don't hear me on the radio here, you'll find me on YouTube, and I think you'll like what we're doing here. And a lot of people are pulling for Caitlin Clark. A lot of people are pulling for Caitlin Clark, and I'm getting a lot of Yankee vibes. How about my Yankees going in and beating those Astros and doing it in a big way? I love that. 4 in a row against the Astros. So Major League Baseball's underway. The NBA is making the playoff push. Your calls on the other side as we continue. Iowa, -1.5, over under 167.5. Wow, 167.5 for this game. I couldn't believe that as they're showing the number here. Money line, Iowa -135, LSU +100. UConn versus USC. UConn's a 3.5-point favorite. This is on the women's side. And money line, UConn -165. So Iowa is the favorite. LSU on the money line +100. Interesting play there. We'll get to you on the other side. Gambling. Oh, that's a great topic. How many of the degenerates tonight? How many of the absolute degenerates out of the old-time degenerates are betting this women's game tonight because they just want a little action? I'll get to that next. JT from Las Vegas, live right here on Mad Dog. Let's talk to this YouTube thing. Yeah, we don't have the audio here, the calls and the commercials, because we're not allowed to. YouTube and Sirius XM's commercials and all that can't air on my channel here. So for everybody's asking me, how come I can't hear the calls and all that? This is just me in my house talking sports. You're not going to get the Mad Dog feed. So if you listen to the Mad Dog feed, you'll get the callers, you'll get the guests and all that. Here is just a YouTube channel. Now, when I do podcasts and when I do live streams with guests, you'll hear that live, but we're not connecting the radio show to my YouTube feed. It's just me. If you like it, hit like. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you to do. Go find some other content, and we hope you come back here. Pulling for LSU, but looking forward to the game. Jose, Raiders all day, baby. Eddie says, my Yankees are everywhere in Phoenix today. They all went to the mall because it's been raining. Yeah, my son's a junior at ASU. He's going tomorrow. Got my son tickets to go tomorrow. Get some more water. I'll be right back. What do you think of the brick backdrop, man? So one of the things about this Yeti, this is one of the big ones, right? So in the summertime, I like to get in the pool, little backyard brick, and fill this about up to here with Tito's, little Tito's vodka, with I drank club soda, a little splash of lemonade in the summer. Have a couple of those in the pool, man. It's a good thing. All right, I'm back. Yes. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Say his name again. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Let's what's the guy's name? David Ardsma? Ardsma. I do. Okay. Thanks for coming back, everybody. JT in Vegas tonight. David Ardsma from NLB Network, baseball insider, former MLB pitcher, will join us at the top of the hour. We got Max Starks from NFL Radio and Gilbert Manzano, NFL writer from SI.com, coming up a little bit later in the show. If you want to get in and talk more to me, you can get into the YouTube page. JT the Brick YT is where to follow me. I've decided to build up a YouTube page to have it just in case certain nights I want to talk sports and you don't hear me. I'm on a lot of sports radio shows every day. The nights I'm not on Mad Dog, I built this YouTube with my son to get you going and be able to find me there. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese coming up here at the top of the hour. I'm going to watch it. We'll hope there's some drama in the game. As I just said, my nephew's in the building and says it's packed with Iowa fans. Packed with Iowa fans. LSU won last year. Maybe their fans don't want to go and they want to save their money for the Final Four. I've always said that. But if you can't afford to go to the Final Four and the Elite Eight, I'd rather go to the Final Four. So maybe it's going to feel like a road game, a big time road game for those LSU fans, but they're used to that. They'll be ready to deal with that and compete and, get into it. And if they feel like they're going to win, they're going to let Caitlin Clark know it. You know that for sure. Out to the Warrior in Phoenix on the women playing basketball. Hmm. Wow, that's great. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Well, thank you, man. You're one of the people who believe in me, and the people who believe in me have been right, and I appreciate that, and thank you for that. And I'm pretty good. I'm pretty fulfilled with the amount of radio I'm doing still, and I'm liking it here. That's why I got this YouTube channel up and running, so you get a little taste of what we're doing here. So he called in He had to go somewhere tonight to his workout, to his class. He's not going to watch Caitlin Clark. Sounds right. I think a lot of the country is going to be watching Caitlin Clark tonight for obvious reasons. Bobby in Jersey. Bobby, I got about a minute and a half. Go quick, Bobby. Thanks for waiting. Huh? Yep. Huh? Right? Huh? Yep. Huh? I do. Huh? And those are real. And those are real. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you can parlay the men and women and do that. And that's why these casinos make all the money and no one wins is because they take all your parlay money. And I appreciate your call. We're up against it. Look, I'm very careful with how I describe gamblers. I'm not a gambler, and I put some of the best gamblers in the world on my radio shows, especially the one I do in Vegas. Most gamblers now are degenerate. They don't know what they're betting on. They're only betting for entertainment. They're losing on purpose because they're doing no research. They don't care. It's the peer pressure that they need to gamble, and they're losing and continue to have to fund their account and put more money in. If you're going to gamble, don't be a dummy. Treat it like a business and try to win, will you? Right. Let's get ready for our guest. We'll knock the guest out, and I'll keep everything going. I'm going to talk on the chat here for a second. Okay. Yep. I'm going to get that ready. All right, we got a baseball guest coming up here, so you probably won't be able to hear it. Just stay logged in if you'd like, and we'll do a couple monologues the rest of the way. And I'll keep you updated if you're going to watch that Caitlin Clark and keep me on here on the live stream. I appreciate it. Remember, I'm asking everybody if you click on the subscribe button. So if you're here for the first time, hit subscribe and hit like. Appreciate that, and we'll be good to go. Pirates going to be 5-0. Yeah, good start. Ooh, excuse me. Achoo. Angel Reese, 18.7 per game and 31.5 for Caitlin Clark. Wow. And he's at the DA 53. So, okay. Okay. We'll get him first. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. I see it. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I like those top of the hour, whatever you want, long songs or whatever at the top. Just do what you normally do. Hour number two. Here we go. Another hour, and we're getting ready for Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. The tweets are coming in from Travis Scott, Dwayne Wade, Magic Johnson, Alex Morgan, Lisa Leslie. Everybody's watching this game, man. It's coming up here, and we'll have coverage for you right here on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Baseball season is underway. And a quick reminder, you can hear David Artsma next on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Loudouts with Chris Jimenez, who's fantastic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 89, and the Sirius XM app. Don't forget, every pitch of the 2024 baseball season is on Sirius XM, including what I love the most, the home and away broadcast for every team on the all-new Sirius XM app. They really got that right, and I'm thrilled by it. David Artsma, kind enough to join us, former big league pitcher. And David, how's it been for you so far as the season starts off with some cold weather cities? You know, some teams playing from East Coast out west. We had Otani and all the drama of that, and the Yankees sweeping the Astros, man. We got some action going on here. I think they did come out, Howden. Did you notice? I think you probably did, like everyone, how emotional Soto was in the beginning. A couple of the big defensive plays and walks, even where he's like staring down the pitcher, the game winning RBI in the last game. I love the emotion that Soto has because I haven't seen a lot of that from the Yankees. I don't see it from Stanton or Judge or LeMahieu, Rizzo a little bit here, but Soto seems like he wants to be the straw that stirs the Yankees' drink. It's only one series, but do you think the Astros got problems? The lineup's just getting older. Their pitchers have thrown a lot of innings because of all the postseasons and what they've done the last couple of years. Where do you stand on the Astros as they're off to a very slow start, obviously at 0 and 4? Mhm. David Arnsman is our guest at the DA 53. I stay in the American League, and I'm looking at the Central, and it just seems like there's no one great. The White Sox, Royals, the Twins, Guardians, they're good, but they're not great. And then the Tigers are off to a 3-0 start. You see the strength of the West with the world champion Rangers and the Mariners coming on. The Yankees, Orioles are going to battle with Tampa Bay. Who do you like in the Central there? Because I don't, the team doesn't jump out at me as being elite, but I think all those teams have a chance to contend. Who do you like the most, other than the White Sox? Let's move to the National League, where I think Atlanta's the team to beat, along with the Dodgers. Dodgers are off to that 4-2 start. Mookie Betts got off to a pretty good one, but no one wants to hear about the Dodgers day to day and box scores. Everyone wants to know your opinion on Shohei Ohtani once he had the press conference about the accusations with Ippei, his translator. Then the story went away. And David, I've been doing this for a long time. When you have the biggest story in the world on Ohtani, and then on a Monday and Tuesday it's big, and then it disappears by the end of the week. I know you're involved with MLB Radio, and there's connections with the league there, but a lot of fans want more information, and we don't know if we're going to get it because it's an ongoing investigation. It could be months before there's an announcement of any kind. Let's move on to the Braves. Do you have them being the other team to beat? I mean, I want to ask you this. I didn't see your season predictions. Is it Atlanta and the Dodgers going through the NL, or do you have another team in there that could contend? Wrapping up with David Ardsma joining us. David, I'm sick of every year fans saying, well, the Pirates can't contend. They're not in a big enough market. Give me a break. Pittsburgh's a fine market. There's good sports. The Penguins have won multiple Stanley Cups. The Steelers are legendary. I mean, I can understand they don't have the payroll money, but they could sell it and get an owner that does have it. When you see a team like the Pirates step out to a really quick start, or some of the smaller market teams going forward, do you think they have a shot to contend, or Pirates can't contend with the Dodgers, Atlanta, and the big market teams that spend all the payroll? Hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Got to ask you this question. I don't think I asked you it in the past. Who was the greatest hitter that you ever pitched against? The one great moment of the greatest all-time batter that you ever went up against? Mm. Great to talk to you. Look forward to having you on again. Appreciate your time tonight. All right. That was good. Good baseball commentary from a former pitcher, David Ardsma. Again, you can hear him next Thursday. That's 2 p.m. Eastern on Loudouts with Chris Jimenez on MLB Network Radio. Easy to find, Sirius XM Channel 89 and on the Sirius XM app. Don't forget every pitch of the season now. We're in the 2024 season on Sirius XM, including home and away broadcasts for every team on the all-new Sirius XM app, and that's how I listen to baseball. So we're out of baseball now. I'm going to head over to football. Caitlin Clark. Dave Portnoy is at the game, and my nephew's not sitting too far from me, so he took a picture of Portnoy sitting in the section next to him, and I went to Dave Portnoy on Twitter, and it says, LSU fans flat didn't travel for this game. 99% Hawkeye fans in Albany. Caitlin Clark is a star amongst stars, and it's not even close. And that's just what my nephew told me. There is no one in that building from LSU. Nobody. They're not there. It's all Caitlin Clark. And it's, fans like my nephew and my brother-in-law who are there to see Caitlin Clark. And they drove to Albany because they live in New Paltz. So I hope fans do this tonight, and I want to hear about the impact that this game could have. If you want to get in before tip-off, pick the winner. And who do you think's got more at stake? I think it's more of a pressure game for Caitlin Clark, because if she loses and doesn't get to the Final Four and LSU does, LSU is going to be throwing around some confetti. They're going to have those Final Four hats, and they are going to rub it in the face of Caitlin Clark. You know that. Hey, Andrew's up next from Vermont, a Yankee fan I remember from back in the day. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. They got a great lineup. Middle of the lineup is strong, and they definitely have good starting pitching. At least three starters that, if you get into the playoffs, can win games. Yeah, the Phillies are right there. I got Atlanta. The Phillies are the best team there. Clearly, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, out of respect. And then there's a big drop. Yeah, we say that every year about Milwaukee, but yep. Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, the Yankees look good here. I'm very impressed because I put myself in the penalty box for a couple of days because the first inning of the first game, they gave up three. And I went to Twitter and said, fire Boone, fire Boone, fire Boone, all in caps. I had my Twitter beer muscles going. I was all over Aaron Boone, and then they won four in a row and swept them. So I put myself in Yankees Twitter jail here for a couple of days, deservingly so. But Juan Soto is exactly what the Yankees need. And the Yankees are renting him now. The Yankees got to find a way to pay him. And if you look at the way he's starting off the season, I think Juan Soto's playing for a contract, and Yankee fans are going to have to win him over. You have to find a way to win him over so Juan Soto does not want to leave, because he can leave. Someone can offer more money, and he can leave. Not many can offer more than the Yankees. So the Yankees clearly have to find out. They have to find out early if Soto likes it there and wants to stay there, and just pay him, because that contract is winding down with Giancarlo Stanton. He lost a little bit of weight. Aaron Judge kind of gets banged up. So we'll see what happens. We're talking about this Rashee Rice car accident. TMZ Sports reported, and they had some pictures. He was celebrating with his family before the crash. But one of the victims has spoken out already on this. So this is an ugly incident for Kansas City. It could happen to the Jaguars or the Raiders or the Lions. It can happen to anybody. It happens to a man on the world championship scene. So there's now video coming out as Rashee Rice was celebrating with his family and friends before one of his cars were involved in a nasty car wreck, at least based on the new pics that TMZ got from the restaurant and bar and new video from the accident scene. TMZ obtained photos that were taken Saturday in Dallas, appearing to show that the wide receiver was hanging out with his mother at a restaurant bar, and they all seem to be enjoying themselves for a special occasion, like a pre-Easter type occasion. There's a photo that looks like Rashee posing with his mom, and another shot that shows him next with others as they appear to be raising drinks in the air and having a toast. It's unclear if Rashee himself has a drink in his hand or what everyone might have been drinking in the case. The photos put Rashee in Dallas, just 6 miles from where the accident was. Then TMZ has a whole bunch of videos and photos of the accident. And the shirt Rashee is wearing at the moment looks similar to one of the guys leaving the car crash and the scene of the crime. Cops have yet to say whether they believe Rashee was in the mix during the accident, but they reportedly said one of the vehicles involved in the wreck was his. It looks like he was involved, and the pictures that are the most disturbing to me, most disturbing are the men who left the scene of the crime. They left abruptly, they left quickly. Pictures show them casually walking away from the car site, walking down the road. So the new videos that they have now from the scene, including the exact moment these gentlemen walked by, bystanders who asked if they were just going to leave the cars behind, and they didn't respond. One of the guys who was getting out of the Lamborghini did acknowledge his chest was hurt, but the rest of them didn't say a word as they left and vanished. And that is just a scumbag move, man. These guys are the worst of the worst human beings we had, because that was a massive car accident and they didn't help and they walked away. So I hope that the league comes down pretty heavy on them. It's kind of tough to cover the rest of the story, everybody, because it's an ongoing investigation. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese coming up here in a little bit, and we'll have more of the NFL coming up on the other side. Michael Penix Jr. seems to be the hot quarterback this week. Every week they're all hot. But Michael Penix is on fire. I'll tell you what I think of him and where he'll go as of today, which could change in the first round of the NFL draft coming up here in a couple of weeks. JT, on a busy night, is LSU. Reese 10 Angel is about to take on Caitlin Clark. And they claim they like each other now. We'll see. It's a heavy Iowa crowd in Albany. We'll have live updates throughout the game. This is Mad Dog. All right, thanks. I'm going to talk to the chat. James says, you think the Raiders should draft a quarterback from Florida State? No. If they can't get one of the top quarterbacks, they have Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Adam, they need to get out of his. What else do we have here? Good. The GOAT highlights is in there. One of the all-time greats. I appreciate that. Good afternoon to the chat. We want people liking it, getting in the chat, and talking to one another. About to tip it off, the ladies. Yeah, short ones. That has to be it too. I forget. And it should be. And what's the no, I yeah. So yes. See this. Keep it here. So now that you know, I'm saying it. All right, guys, good job. I'm going to talk to the chat for a second. You know, the biggest perk, and you can, yeah, the biggest problem with doing a show from home is you always go to the refrigerator. So my wife we made some steak last night, cut up steak. So I just went there for energy and had a couple of pieces of steak to fuel the show. And, you know, you guys know this, man. Going to the refrigerator is not good. Other than meals, man. Caitlin Clark opens up the game with a big 3. Wow. What do we got for Michael Penix Jr. sound wise, guys? Yeah, that's what we need. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I don't know. Wow, Iowa looks great. Caitlin Clark opened up the game with a bomb three-pointer. They're up 9-4. They're passing the ball, and LSU is backpedaling here. This has been all Iowa. Caitlin Clark for another three, and she makes it. Caitlin Clark with her second three of the night. Caitlin Clark has 8 points as the game just started. She's 2 of 3 of three. So LSU has had no answer for her just yet. They get a nice layup there, LSU. Now it's 12-6. So this is the regional, the Elite Eight in Albany, New York. And Caitlin Clark is off to a good start. They're such great passers to watch this game. So keep it here. I'll keep you updated on the game, which I get paid to do. And if you're going to watch the game and keep us on in the background, we greatly appreciate it there. I mentioned Michael Penix. Michael Penix Jr. now is benefiting from the fact that Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and Drake May are all going high, and now J.J. McCarthy could go 4 overall if Minnesota trades up to get him. And then at number 5, all of a sudden the Chargers could trade out of that pick, whoever comes in there. I didn't have Michael Penix with a top 15, 20 first round grade. But I think Michael Penix now he's going to go 12 or 13. As of today, he's either going to go to Denver at 12 or the Raiders at 13. Both Denver and Las Vegas need quarterbacks. They definitely do. The Raiders want Jaden Daniels. They made that clear, or at least they're talking about him more than anybody else. And then we're clearly looking at the Chargers and what Jim Harbaugh wants. He could get Marvin Harrison Jr. because he has Justin Herbert. But Denver, Sean Payton has destroyed that roster in Denver. And he didn't have the right to do it because when he came in, he didn't say he was going to tear it down. Once he decided that he wanted nothing to do with Russell Wilson, then they got rid of Jerry Jeudy. And Jerry Judy's kind of a really bizarre guy. He's a trash talker, weird guy. I've heard from in their organization that he's kind of lightly unstable when it comes to he's not that type of guy that you want to build an organization around. I don't know. I've never met him. I'm just telling you what I hear. But when it comes to that, they got him out of there and they got rid of Russell Wilson. So now Sean Payton lost his best wide receiver and his best quarterback. Good luck trying to win without that. He's going to take a quarterback in the first round. Timeout is LSU calls timeout because they're getting hammered. They're getting boat raced early in this game. Dr. Falcon loves sports. He's in Los Angeles tonight. Go ahead. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Mm. Yes. Mm. They can. Mm, mm, mm. Villanova had no right. Villanova had no right to win that game against Ewing and the strength of Georgetown. And they shot a high percentage. They defended. They milked the clock. They took every possession down to the wire. And it was the perfect storm. They had to play the perfect game. Duke did that against UNLV. UNLV could have been the most dominant team of all time if they went back to back. Coach K's game plan was able to win that. And I just don't see UConn losing. I just think UConn has showed me so much in the last three weeks. I can't see them losing only to Zach Edey because he's just a bizarre player. He's a 7-foot guy who could have a big night. Mm, yeah. Right. Mm, mm. I do. Mm. Thanks, buddy. Caitlin Clark just missed a three as she came down. So they're going heavy Caitlin Clark. 17-12 Iowa over LSU. And LSU is real. Angel Reese just got a rebound, offensive rebound, and put it up. An athletic play. Angel Reese just grabbed the rebound in the paint and went up. She's averaging in the tournament 15.3 points a game and 13 rebounds. And she just got one. Angel just had a really big play in Iowa. Now, it wasn't Caitlin Clark. Iowa hits another three to go up 20-14. 888-623-3646 is the number. The next guest we have is Max Starks. That's in about an hour. So it's just me here. If you want to check out our YouTube page, we'd like to get some people in this YouTube channel where I'm hosting the show tonight from my home. You get a chance to check in, see what we're doing. JT the Brick YT is where you find me. Subscribe and share JT the Brick YT for YouTube. Get on the channel. You'll get alerts. You'll get live broadcasts. You'll get rants. It's all up there as we're building that. And we're going hard tonight because I think more people are interested in this women's topic than the men. As I said, as I open up the show, I don't see any chance, no chance for UConn to lose. None. None. And I know there's Dr. Falcon just talked about miracles in the past. We've talked about that in the past. There's always been great upsets. I don't see Danny Hurley getting in a position where these games are going to be in doubt, unless it's the national championship in the second half and Zach Edey only has one foul and he's playing an unconscious game. Because if Zach Edey ends up beating UConn and wins a national championship, oh my God, that'll be one of the great wins of all time. That'll be an unbelievable win because it'll be through UConn and a team significantly better, in my opinion. So that's a heavyweight fight if we're able to get that along the way. 888-623-3646 as we get going. James said Giancarlo Stanton's hard to watch, JT. He's an automatic out. He's a bum. Yankee fans know he's a bum when it comes to that. He's been a terrible Yankee. He's had one of the only contracts in Yankee history that was so expensive they couldn't get out of it. Anybody else who has been as bad as Giancarlo Stanton would have been bought out of their contract and told to leave the Yankees. The only reason he's been there is they can't get rid of him. They can't get rid of him because all the money he owes that they owe him. So this is it for him. This is his final year. I have a feeling he's going to play a lot. And he's going to keep his weight down because he wants to play for his next contract along the way. 888-623-3646 as we continue at Mad Dog Sports Radio on Twitter. We'll get to Max Starks coming up there in a little bit. And everybody's ready to roll tonight. It's a good time. I hope everybody had a great Easter holiday along the way. I hope you had a great Easter holiday. It was a lot of fun for you and your family. And I had fun there too. But it was a long day there on the radio. Long day on the radio yesterday, enjoying the Easter holiday here on Mad Dog, and we're doing it again today with Angel going up against Caitlin for a live update. Let's get out to the Mad Dog Sports Bite, the great Howie Carpin. Yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see me dancing in the studio as Angel Reese just makes another bucket, and LSU came storming back. Angel Reese has 6 points and 5 rebounds. Iowa 26, LSU 23. Caitlin Clark just threw a pass behind her back, and no one was home. And then there was a charge on Iowa. So it's all Iowa. 90% of the fans confirmed at that game in Albany, or Iowa fans there. We got a women's game on tonight. That is going to be memorable. And Iowa's going to have to play a great game. Kim Mulkey is going crazy on the sideline. She's wearing all green, a green pantsuit. She's always dramatic with what she wears. And Caitlin Clark got off to a really good start in this game, but Iowa's cooling off a bit. And that I know what's happening now. Angel Reese just missed a layup. She thought she got fouled. LSU's the bigger, stronger team. Caitlin Clark's the best player on the court, but LSU has a better team. They have a better starting five. As almost another mistake here by Caitlin Clark. She's getting a little bit restless with the ball. If you want to get through, 888-623-3646 and JT the Brick on Twitter. JT the Brick YT is where to follow there. This is cool. I'm liking what's happening today. I can tell you in all my years of doing this, coming off the Final Four. So you set the Final Four on Sunday. Then you come into Monday. I have never talked about a women's basketball game. Never. And I'm talking about it all night now for the first part of the show because it's actually a pretty big deal. So that shows how people are evolving and especially how star power moves the needle. Like, I'm not going to watch an Angels game unless Mike Trout's at bat. Let me repeat that. I'm not going to watch an Angels game unless Mike Trout is at bat. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch an Oakland A's game under any circumstance. How about that? The Oakland A's now, the city of Oakland is trying to get him to sign a lease for 5 years as Oakland ran out the Raiders and the Warriors. And now all of a sudden the government of Oakland wants to keep the A's, who basically are a team that's moving to Vegas that no one wants here in Vegas. Literally, less than 1% of the people in Vegas want this team. There's no buzz on it. And the Oakland A's is an unwatchable baseball broadcast now. What would you rather watch? The A's play the Guardians or LSU versus Iowa in women's basketball? I think I know the answer to that. Good game going back and forth. And we're humming here with the NFL draft. So I just told you Michael Penix Jr. To me, I don't think he's worthy of a top 20 pick, but he's going to go in the top 20. He's going to go in the top 20 because everybody needs a quarterback, and the first four might go in the first four picks. I'll get into Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft coming up. I think it's the best one I've seen so far. I agree with 12 out of his first 13 picks. It's really good, and I'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Edwin in Houston, where my Yankees swept the Astros. Go ahead, Edwin. So you want to hold on a second. Hold on. So you want to bunt with Altuve? Okay. Okay. Normally, you do not take the bat. Well, most people would disagree because they wouldn't take their bat out of Altuve, who has killed the Yankees. Now, your point is very important. You're playing the Royals, you're playing. This guy is a professional Yankee killer. The only other Yankee killer I've ever seen in my life remotely close was Big Papi David Ortiz. I mean, you know how many times Altuve gave me, a diehard Yankee fan, cranky Yankee, a sleepless night? I'd never have Altuve bunt against the Yankees because one swing of the bat against the Yankees, he usually hits a home run. There was one before. No, I disagree. I just disagree with you on the player bunting. You have plenty of players in your lineup to bunt. If it's not an ideal time to bunt, I get it. I just disagree with you because I think Altuve in that spot, I just let him hit. I think if he gets a good pitch, he's going to get a double or a home run more so than a bunt. And if he doesn't lay down a good bunt, it's an out. And you're taking the bat out of his hand. That's okay. We can, Yeah, we can agree to disagree, man. That's it. Appreciate the call. Opens up a line. We should never have an open line on my show. Other shows, go ahead. My show should never have an open line. People should be diving for their phones to get through, to have a debate or have an opinion. And again, I'm not right on everything. I wouldn't have Altuve bunt. I wouldn't have Soto bunt. I know Judge can probably bunt too. I cannot believe that LSU has the lead in this game. The Iowa opened up. It was all Iowa. Iowa opened up this game, and they were absolutely dominating this game. And then LSU just started pounding the ball down low because they have a massive advantage, and they took the lead. And LSU was on top 31-26. Angel Reese has 10 points. Caitlin Clark has 11. So they're kind of neutralizing each other. It really is, again, call me crazy. It reminds me of Magic Bird. It does. I don't care if it doesn't do that for you. It does it for me. You're seeing two great players in their prime of college basketball going toe-to-toe. Toe-to-toe. And I love it here. Are you watching it? Do you believe this is going to live up to the hype? And it's not going to live up to the hype every year because it's going to take a player, the next great women's basketball player in college. It's going to take a long time to build up another Caitlin Clark. So you got to have a star. You got to have a star. Jason on the live stream says Angel Reese came to play. Yeah, she comes to play every time, Jason. And so is Caitlin Clark. But Angel Reese, the reason why it's worth watching the rest of the game is that if LSU with Kim Mulkey and Angel Reese hold on to win this game, There's over 95% of the fans are neutral fans pulling for Iowa or real Iowa fans there. These trash talking gals from LSU are going to light up this crowd, and they're going to light up Caitlin Clark if they win. Don't tell me they're going to take the high road and hugs and handshakes. No way. They're not built this way. Mulkey's talking about a hit piece in the Washington Post. Angel Reese is beating Caitlin Clark. If she wins, she's going to let Caitlin Clark have it. That's why this is must-see television, which is going to be really good. Frank in Connecticut, as we're following the Rashee Rice story, who's accused of being in some type of car accident here. It looks like he was. What's going on, Frank? Good. Huh? Oh, he's got plenty of money. But let me stop you there for a second. Let me stop you here for a second. Here's the big thing, Frank, and I take Ubers. I take Ubers all the time. My dad does my taxes. He thinks I'm out of my mind. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I live in Vegas. It's $30 each way, sometimes 20. Before I go out at night in Vegas, I know it's going to cost me $50. That's it. That's it. To get to the Las Vegas Strip, one of the most iconic roads in the world. No, and they charge now for parking. I'm in an Uber 3 to 4 times a week, and I appreciate what you do for a living. A lot of athletes start off the night with expensive cars, the best cars in the world, and then they drive their car out and they have too much to drink and they don't want to leave their car in valet or in a parking garage. And that's what takes them down, because it's easy for me to leave my car. I have a nice car in valet, and my wife drive me the next day to pick it up. These athletes think they're cool. They want to get in their vehicles and they're buzzed. They're not drunk, they're buzzed. And then if they're not buzzed, we don't know if there was any alcohol in this Dallas car accident, but a 5-year-old boy could have died. He could have been severely injured. And these thugs who were caught on camera did not walk and check every car to make sure there was a little boy or a little girl in that. How disgusting is that? How crazy does that make you feel? Leaving the scene. What a scumbag. Leaving the scene of a crime where there's a child and a mom. If I'm Andy Reid, it turns out that Rashee Rice, we need full confirmation, was there. I'd cut his ass. The Kansas City Chiefs are world champs. I'd say pack up your locker and get the hell out of here. Yeah. Oh, he's terrible. Mm, mm, yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I like what's happening now with the Yankees. My wife calls me Cranky Yankee. Thanks for the call. That's my nickname. I'm always freaking out when the Yankees lose. I can't handle a Yankees loss. I just get crazy. I'm so happy they swept the Astros. I used to call them the cheaters, but I can't anymore because the Astros won a World Series without cheating. They won one with while cheating and winning one without cheating, so I can no longer call them the cheaters. The Astros are a really good team. Rangers and the Rays. 3-0 Rangers early on in this game. Those are two teams you're going to hear from more a little bit later on. A full night of baseball. Royals and the Orioles are also tied at 3, and the Mets are looking for their first win in a year. Will this be a time where the Met fans will not be talking Mets baseball? Every Met fan I know is taking the season off. I'm dead serious. Every Met fan that I know is like, we're not going to win this year. I go, what do you mean? You get the highest payroll. What do you mean? No, no, we're no good. We lost DeGrom. We lost Scherzer. We don't have those guys here. We're not any good. We can't win. We got to wait till next year. Wow. Wow. You got to go see the Mets playing Flushing, and you got to go sit out there and watch a meaningless Met team. Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, told us all how great they were going to be, how competitive they were going to be. Mets stink. Mets are awful. And when the Yankees are playing well, they obliterate the Mets on the back page of the Post. I mean, you want to feed the media in New York? If the Mets get out of the gate and they're opening records like 8-22, and the Yankees stay on fire, wait till you see what those New York tabloids do to the Mets. They'll cover the Yankees and everything that's good, but they're going to come after the Mets. We'll get you a live update on what's going on with LSU, Iowa coming up here. Two more guests the rest of the show. Max Starks, former two-time Super Bowl champ Gilbert Manzano from Sports Illustrated on the NFL and the draft and what's coming. My wife just said, what do you want for dinner tonight? I said, come on, man. Look, it's not even 5 o'clock. I'm good. Then I said, how about some chicken wings? So the wife's going to get some chicken wings tonight. Maybe I'm doing that because they're playing the game in Albany tonight. Or maybe I'm doing it because everybody I know is going to see the eclipse of the sun in Buffalo. See all the conversation on the eclipse? Got some buddies flying into Buffalo to see the eclipse. And Buffalo reminds me of chicken wings. And I'm in a mood for chicken wings. And how dare you not have blue cheese? I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel at JT the Brick YT if you don't have blue cheese on your chicken wings. No more ranch. No more ranch ever on. Never will. It's always blue cheese. Come on, man. At least get that one right. JT live from Vegas. Iowa LSU update next. This is Mad Dog. Who did? Oh, okay. Oh, am I in a commercial? What's going on here? Oh, I lost my streaming limit. Isn't that weird when you have too many people on the? Yeah, it's the first time it's happened. Now I got it back. Hold on. It's usually pretty good. Keep me updated on this. Yeah. All right, what do we got? Guys on the chat? Anything on the chat? Just talking about driving. Adam says, I wonder why some of these teams don't have someone assigned to taking care of these guys when they go out. They all do. All these players, especially the NFL players, they all have a card in their wallet, that they can call for help at any time. And there's no one that can ask them a question. It's private. So you can't say, hey, have you had too many drinks? Hey, are you under the influence? No. All you got to do is call the number in your wallet as an NFL player. And I'm assuming they do this in other sports. And someone will come and pick you up and not ask anything. All right. I'm going to keep the live stream going here to the top of the hour. And then we got a couple of guests lock in on this game. And we'll continue to do this. I'm on Sunday, Monday. I think I got another couple shifts I'm doing here over the next couple of weeks. And thanks for this show, man. I appreciate it. If you want to hear more of me, sound off and get me on more. And I'm excited about that. But I'm on the radio a lot. The nights I'm not on Mad Dog, find out if I'm on the YouTube stream, and I'll go big for you on that platform. And Angel Reese down low is a beast. She's, I think Caitlin Clark's got to dive to the bucket more, man. She's playing one-on-one, which is, I'm all right with her playing one-on-one, but she looks pretty stagnant to me right now. She did miss. Yeah, Iowa's got to play a perfect game here to win, or at least better. Iowa started off the game really hot, 10 of 14 from the field. Now they're 2 of 13 and really struggling here. And the refs are letting them play. This is a physical game. This is a real physical game as Angel Reese is dominating for LSU. Caitlin Clark's been cold for quite some time. She gets the ball on a Steph Curry three and knocks it down. Great pass cross court to Caitlin Clark, and Iowa is only down 1. LSU 38, Iowa 37. 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter of the game. Well, someone's got to score other than Caitlin Clark, or they're not going to win the game. LSU's got multiple scorers as they miss a three, but get an offensive rebound. So I love watching Angel Reese play because she plays under the bucket and she grabs rebounds and she scores. Caitlin Clark just doesn't have the ability to break down the press all the time here because LSU gets back on defense and their bigs are underneath the rim, and it's hard for Caitlin to get a layup going. Really good game here. 1 point game, and LSU misses a layup here. They get their own rebound and miss another layup. Ooh, that was hard to watch. Brooklyn J is out in Brooklyn tonight listening to Mad Dog. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she came right back. Good. Appreciate you listening. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the compliment. I like the fact that you're watching the game and listening to Sirius XM. That's what makes us different. What makes this show different, not just my show, but everybody else's, we appreciate the listeners who try to contribute. The other networks now, there's other networks. I worked for one of them for 17 and a half years. They don't take calls. They don't want calls. They don't want you participating. They want you to watch. They want you to buy the advertising. They want you to listen. But can you imagine a human being, a man hosting a radio show going 4 or 5 years without taking a phone call? Let me sink in. A man, a grown-ass man hosting a radio show for 4 or 5 years and not taking one phone call in 5 years. I mean, that's the way the business is going now. And then you get some of these program directors who get together and some of these consultants who don't know crap, who've never hosted a radio show, never been a part of a radio show, never met a caller or listened to a good call, going to these conferences saying it's not about a caller, it's about you. Well, believe me, I'm talking 6 hours today without a co-host. I don't have one of those new shows in sports radio that have 11 microphones. There are some shows now that have 8, 9, or 10 people participating on a sports show, being made fun of, being a practical joke, and it's catching on like fire. Someday, God will come down and say, JT the Brick, we are going to let you co-host the show with someone else instead of doing 6 hours a day solo. I'll take whatever you give me. But now, imagine listening to a sports show where the host never gets criticized or called out because he's intimidated and afraid to take a call from the listeners who are paying his salary. Biggest change in my 27-year career. The guys who, mail it in, don't do their homework, don't go to games, don't know crap, and they got 4 co-hosts with them to get away with it. This is pure sports radio at Mad Dog Sports Radio. Thanks to Dog, with his name on the channel, who did sports radio for a long time. It's not for everybody. Some people like comedy sports shows. Some people, want to watch sports show with athletes. Everybody wants a big athlete on their show. Well, we roll up our sleeves every day on this channel and give you everything we get, no matter who's on any shift here. That's why I love it here. It's been, look at this. Now LSU, Iowa is going to get into a big fight here. Not a physical fight. I'm talking coming up at halftime. It's put up or shut up because LSU's bigs are too much for Iowa. And Caitlin Clark's got to wake up and she's got to carry this team next. Thanks, everybody. If you can please click the subscribe there at the top and like. Thank you. How cool is it that we're on Mad Dog doing this tonight? Appreciate you being there in the live stream. Depending on when I'm on again, I'll do more of this so you can jump in and get it going. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for supporting me wherever you can find me. But follow the live stream and send it out and share it to others so they can listen and see what we're doing. Have a great night.